Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into this afternoon's video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kens TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all of that wrapped up into one big old nutshell, if you will, there is a message. I forgot to put the infamous shades on. Forgive me. Summertime of 2012. I had a lawn care business. A lawn care business, I had been in operation for about, I want to say it was about my 4th summer. So I was really starting to, build my customer base and my clientele. I had gotten to the point to where not only did I have a lawn care service, I also had a carpet cleaning business as well. Well, that turned into home improvement, because anytime you're around a homeowner, especially when you're dealing with ladies that aren't married or, that are single, oh, do you all do this or do you all do that? We sure do. Do you all fix gutters? We sure do. Do you all work on transmissions? We sure do. Anything they ask, the question was, we sure do. Now, before I actually get into the story, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Come on, Kens. I'm sick of this, man. We know you in Lexington. But the new people that watch the video, they don't know. So just sit back, simmer down, kick your feet up, and enjoy the story. Respectfully. As I mentioned, this summertime of 2012. The lawn care business, it's striving, but it's a slow moment that I'm having. See, oftentimes when you have a lawn care business and you go for weeks without any rain, guess what? How you gonna cut grass? Ain't no rain. If no rain is coming, the grass is not growing. So therefore, those, 5 or 6 yards a day that we were actually cutting goes to zero. You think the bill collectors think anything about that? You think the people that you owe, as far as your car payments and, groceries and, just your average everyday ways of life, you think they care that it didn't rain? Now, it was one of those things to where I had one foot in and one foot out. I was still messing around with the streets. I was still messing around. For y'all that don't know, my MO was counterfeiting. That was just primarily matter of fact, every time that I've ever been caught up, I'm what they label as a habitual offender. Every single time I've been caught up, it's been for the same thing. Now, when I say counterfeiting, you got money, you got checks, you got credit cards. No, I wasn't writing checks. No, I wasn't presenting credit cards to people. No, I wasn't throwing money, counterfeit money into dice games. What I would do is sell those items for maybe 30 cents on the dollar, 25 cents on the dollar, something like that. Sometimes half, just depending on who I'm dealing with and how much, they're actually trying to get. It's finally started to rain. Once it rained, it was like, okay, cool. Now we got all these yards to cut. But it rained so bad that it was like, I don't know if we're going to actually be able to get out and cut today. Now, when I say we, I had a partner. Matter of fact, I did the video on I did an interview on him, 5-star. Shout out to 5-star, the general, salute. He helped me to really get my lawn care business off the ground. He helped me to where certain days that where we were out, pounding the pavement and handing out flyers, I didn't really have money to pay him. We'd be out there 4 or 5 hours. Man, I can get you some lunch, man. I don't even worry about it. And he's out there really, really helping me get this thing off the ground. So really it was him and I, and we were just out there, just started from zero yards. And everything kind of took off from there. Sometimes in life, when you get a blessing, your blessing is right there in front of you. Tend not to respect that blessing. Sometimes we tend to overlook that blessing. And that's basically what I was doing, having 1 foot in the streets, and 1 foot in, trying to do the right thing in life. I went over to I'll go over to my spot. And when I go over to my spot, that's where I had my truck, and that's where I had like my lawn equipment. Had a couple of the 54-inch deck Cub Cadet mowers. One of them was residential, the other one was commercial. Had the big long trailer. Had 5-6 weed eaters. I had really accumulated some nice equipment. I go and get that because I'm like, okay, if it dries up, then I'll already have it, and then we can go ahead and at least get about 3 or 4 yards in before, it gets dark outside. I had already had it in my mind, so I said, okay, if we don't end up going to cut, we're going to go to the casino, a damn casino again. Well, I didn't want to keep running back from this place to that place because I could park my truck at another location with my equipment. So I just went ahead and grabbed my money. This particular spot, I had like $6,500, $6,800 over. It was something like that. Usually when I went to the casino, I wouldn't take no more than, especially if I only had $6,800, I'll probably take about $1,500, maybe even $1,000. But for whatever reason, I just grabbed the whole thing because my phone kept going off, and 5-star, he's calling me, and other people's calling me. I'm trying to count the money, and I'm like, you know what, here, I just grabbed the whole thing. I'll just bring whatever I need to bring back later. I leave that location and I'm driving, and I just start to see some weird stuff. I see a police officer. It's like when I'm going in one direction, the police officer's coming in the opposite direction. Well, initially I didn't think anything about it. Heck, we see police officers all the time, but like it was a circle. So you could literally circle back around. The police officer circled back around, and he got behind me. Pause, double pause, triple pause. Why is this officer getting behind me like that? Mind's playing tricks on me. I feel as though I'm paranoid, so I continue to drive. Police officer veers off. I knew something just not sitting right with me about this situation. This same officer circled around and like I said, and followed me just briefly, momentarily. Maybe he wasn't following me. My dumb ass, I got some dirt in the car with me. I got some counterfeit checks in the car with me. They were like business checks. So when we hit. It wasn't no $300, $400, $500, $600. Man, some of the checks might hit for $10,000, $15,000. Some of them for $4,800, $5,800. That's just, we was trying to keep it small. You know what I mean? I got this stuff in the car with me. My instincts is telling me, you need to get this stuff out of the car, man. You shouldn't even be riding with any of this whatsoever. I never forget, I had a case of IDs. Because typically when a person went in and let's just say they were doing the checks, if they went in to cash the checks, they weren't using their own names. We had a little hookup on ID. So 9 times out of 10, when you go in to cash a check, person ain't really looking at your face like that. They're looking at your ID. They'll glance up at your face. I've seen times where people have gone into the bank and I was like, there's no possible way this is going to work. And they come out with thousands. ID looked nothing like them whatsoever. Well, we had like a little case, like the little small cases that you keep your cigarettes in. It had maybe about 10 IDs in it. Now, this case wasn't even supposed to be left in my car. I can say it now. 5-star inadvertently left this case in my car, in my truck. I got the IDs, but I had kind of forgotten about the IDs. I got this bag and I got these checks, these commercial checks. And I'm like, I got to get these checks out of here. I'm like, nah, man, I'm tripping, man. So the street that I was on, I go to the top of the hill. Literally, you can get to the top of the hill. Once you get to the top of the hill, the only way that you can go is left. There's no other alternatives. I get to the top of the hill, and I wasn't even going to go down this street. This is what's so ironic about this entire scenario. I get to the top of the street, and I hit that left, and I see a man standing out, like, in the road, but he's somewhat in the road, but you know how, like, he's talking to somebody that's in a vehicle. The person that was in the vehicle, she had her window down or whatever. Don't even have a clue who this girl is. I don't have a clue who this man is. He got on a white shirt. He got his sleeves rolled up. He got on, like, the khaki pants. So as I turned the corner kind of sharp. When I turn that corner, it gets kind of close to him. Now, it wasn't close, like I was going to hit him, but he got a little closer to him. So I waved, like, as to say, I'm up, sorry about that. You okay? Just a friendly gesture. I continue to go, but as I'm going, I see this man run out in the middle of the street, and he's on his phone. I'm like, man, what is this dude doing, man? As though he was like telling someone the description of my vehicle and my license plate or whatever. That's just how it appeared to me in my head. Something's just not right. I get to the end of that street. Once I get to the end of the street, I make a right-hand turn. As I make a right-hand turn, I literally see a police car. It was an unmarked car. The ones that the detectives ride in. It was a gold unmarked car. I see that car flying around the corner. So when I see him flying around the corner, actually, I had already made a right-hand turn, and I had gone a great distance, but it wasn't long enough to where I could still see in my rearview mirror, if that makes better sense to you. I look back, I see this car flying around the corner. I'm like, oh, man, I knew I wasn't tripping. So I got this counterfeit in the car. I'm tearing it up, throwing it out. Remember, I got a great distance, ahead of him. I got this big trailer hooked to the back of my truck, so I can't really maneuver the way that I want to maneuver. I didn't even have that much counterfeit in the car. I'm tearing it up, throwing it out the window. Turn it up, throwing it out the window. At this point, man, this detective that was in this vehicle, which at the time I didn't know it was a detective. I didn't know who it was. Guess I kind of let the cat out the bag a little early. There were several cars in between us. By the time this car got directly behind me to where there were no other cars in between us, I had threw everything out of the window. I have absolutely nothing in the car at that point. So I thought. He's driving behind me. He don't even turn his lights on. Now, it's crazy because 5 Star was in the car with a dude in front of us. He was directly in front of me. He was in the truck. I'm on the phone with 5. I'm like, hey, bro, the police is following me. I think the police is following me. He's like, you sure you ain't tripping? I said, nah, man, I'm telling you, I think the police is following me. Now, check this out. Check this out now. I'm at a light. When I get to the light, he still hadn't pulled me over. The truck that was in front of me, which was 5 Star and another dude, I don't know where they come from. It's like they just came out of thin air. They turned directly in front of me. So I was like, hey, dog. He was like, man, is that you behind me? I said, what y'all in? Because I didn't know exactly what they were riding in. He was like, man, we in this truck, man. You right behind me? I'm like, oh, snap, man. So I'm like, man, this police, man, is behind me. He ain't turned his lights on or nothing, but he's behind me. Right when I say that, them lights, the infamous blue lights turn on. I'm like, oh, man. I'll pull over. When I pull over, this fool, not 5 Star, but the dude that 5 Star is riding with, this fool pulls over too. Think about it. This fool pulls over because he heard the sirens, but the siren wasn't even for him. He's pulled over. Police officer, he comes to the window. I need you to turn your car off. For what? Man, turn your car off. I'm being smart aleck. The other officer, because it was 2 of them, the other officer that I seen when I made that turn, he went to the truck in front of me and was like, he recognized 5 Star. I didn't even know this dude was a detective. I've never seen this dude a day in my life. He's asking them why they pulled over. Dude that was driving, he was like, I don't know. I just heard a siren, man, and I ain't want to, make it seem as though I was trying to run, so I just pulled over. Sit there for a while. The detective's asking me, the detective that's at my window, what'd you throw out the window? Man, I ain't throw nothing out the window. Man, you threw something out of the window. What did you throw out of the window? Man, I ain't thrown nothing out of the window. What are you talking about? The other detective that was talking to the truck, the one that I seen when I made that turn, I think his name was Haney, Detective Haney. He jumps in his car and rolls off, skids off. Where's this dude going at? I mean, he's gone. Y'all not being arrested. You're just being detained. If we're not arrested, can we go? No, you're being detained. Why do we got these cuffs on? Why are we sitting on the curb on a hot July? You know what I mean? It's hot as hell outside at this point. Because remember I said it had stopped raining, but the ground, the grass was still wet. We sitting on the curb on a major street, but we're not being arrested. We're just being detained. The detective comes back probably about 10 minutes later. He got a bag. His food went and collected all the checks that I threw out of the window. He wasn't able to collect everything, but his food went and collected as much as he could collect, puts it in a bag. Which one of y'all threw this out of the window? They don't even know what the hell the detective's talking about. I'm the one that threw it out of the window. Man, I ain't throw nothing out of the window. We sit there for another 20, 30 minutes or so. Next thing you know, people come. Tow truck comes. I know I'm going to jail now. When you see a tow truck come, they had asked me to search my car. Nah, y'all can't search nothing. I don't even know why you even pulled me over in the first place. I go to jail. We don't go directly to jail. We go to the interrogation room. Now I'm feeling some type of way. Damn, these dudes done set me up. How is it that you all end up in front of me, and then when the police pull me over, you all pull over just as well? I'm thinking that I done been set up. I'm in the interrogation room. I don't know why they took me to the interrogation room. I'm sitting in the interrogation room. They left me in there for like an hour. I go to sleep. He comes in. They try to interrogate me. I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what you're talking about. We knew that you threw something out of the window or whatever. We just want to give you an opportunity to tell your side and to say what it. A 3-time loser, man. Ain't nothing to be braggadocious about that. It's my 3rd time. I've been interrogated every time. I've been to the regular police station. I've been to where did they take you at when the feds is the FBI or whatever, Secret Service office they've taken me to. If I never said anything then, what makes you think that I'm about to say something to you weirdos? I'm sitting in a room just listening to him. We got you on this, we got you on that. I said, man, you ain't got me on nothing, man. You don't got me on nothing. I'm thinking they really can't even charge me. Commonwealth State, man. They ended up charging me with possession of a forged instrument. They charged me with that. They charged me with the IDs that they ended up finding in the truck. So my bond is like a high amount. Judge won't reduce my bond. I got the same judge that I had 3 times, well, 2 prior times. It's the 3rd time in a row I got this judge. He won't reduce my bond. Remember, we're in Kentucky. There's no bail bondsmen. There's no automatic 10%. So if your bond's $40,000, guess what? That's what you're going to pay unless he or she rather decides to reduce your bond 10%, which will be $4,000. They take my money. They take my truck, my equipment. They take everything. What are y'all taking my stuff for, man? Man, we're seizing this. Yeah, all right. You think you're going to seize it. You're not seizing nothing. Y'all rock with me. I got receipts. I can show how I got every piece of equipment. So how y'all going to seize it? Well, why do you got all this cash on you? Because it's a free country. This is how I'm talking to the people. It's a free country. $6,800 ain't no lot of cash. I can't have $6,800 on me. I can show where I got it from. They booked that into evidence. They ain't take any of it. Every dime that I had, they booked that into evidence. Now I'm sitting in the county jail. Sitting in this county jail, can't get out. The 2 other individuals, you got 5-star and then you got the other dude. 5-star goes to jail for a little bit, but his dad comes and gets him out like $20,000. The other dude never even went to jail. This dude never even went to jail whatsoever. Ironic thing about this whole story was Remember when I said I got to the top of the hill and I made it left and the detective was standing in the road, but I didn't know that it was a detective at the time? He was investigating a fraud case. Earlier that day, the female that he was speaking with had attempted to cash some fraudulent checks at like a credit union or something like that. So out of all streets I could turn down, out of all people that I could run into, I run into this detective that's investigating this girl. I never seen the girl. She never seen me. She had been with the individual that were in the truck in front of me. I know the story sounds it's crazy, man. This is crazy. So that was the basis that the detective, he hung his hat on, if you will, when we went to court. Out of all streets, Mr. Keynes turns down this street and he wants you all to think that he didn't have anything to do with that he had no knowledge. I ain't have no knowledge of anything of the sorts. As I mentioned, I'm in the county jail. I hire an attorney. Now, in the meanwhile, while I hire this attorney, they've done what's called a superseding indictment, which means they had additional charges. They could bypass the whole district court because everything typically starts out in district court when you first get charged. If you have a superseding indictment, they're going to waive the whole district court process, the grand jury process, and you're going straight to federal court or state court, felony court. In my case, I wasn't in federal court. Although it was counterfeit, I was still in state court. I was praying that it stayed in state court, but I knew that they were looking to send this to the feds. It's about an additional, I think, 11 or 12 people on the indictment. So it's me, 5-star, the weirdo that was driving, and then it's like 12 other individuals. We're all in court. It's 15 of us. I'm looking around. Everybody's looking around like nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know these people. I'm charged with criminal syndicate, organized crime. It's my second time being charged with this, so I'm very familiar with the charge. So I'm telling my attorney, I had hired Kate Dunn. Back in the day, Kate Dunn was the attorney to go and get. She was very, very aggressive and vicious in court, and she'd go to trial and she'd win. But many moons had passed since then. I hired Kate Dunn. Little did I know, it was so many people on the indictment that they could only give maybe 3 or 4 people attorneys from the legal aid office. And I'm not even sure if it was 3 or 4 people because this was a conflict of interest, which meant everybody was getting pro bono real attorneys. I done went and paid Kate all of this bread. I think Kate cost $6,500. I'm mad because I done went and paid her. I'm like, man, I could have had a pro bono attorney. Good attorneys. What's done is done. Sitting in the county jail, man. One thing about me, when I'm in the county jail, man, I'm studying my case as much as I can. They got a law book. They don't give you many law books, but I'm breaking down that law book, every different scenario, what have you. They got me charged with this organized crime. I wasn't worried about the organized crime because the first time they charged me with organized crime, I beat it on a technicality, and they charged me in the exact same manner. Not even going to say a technicality. Organized crime states 5 or more people that are engaging in a criminal activity for a continuous basis shall be guilty of running a criminal or engaging in a criminal enterprise. They were trying to say that I was at the top of the food chain, this so-called criminal enterprise. Problem is, it's very specific at which charges you can be charged with. So specific to where it has the charge in the actual KRS or KSR number. So it might say gambling. It might say prostitution. It does say. It says, just a very specific charges. Counterfeiting wasn't one of the charges. I'm knowing that I'm going to beat that just based upon that, but I got that in my back pocket. I had my girl go downtown at the time. She goes in, because everything's public record. Everything that you've done is public record. I had my girl go downtown, look up the case or whatever. She gets the paperwork as far as the prior time in which I got that charge dismissed. She goes and gets a copy of that, and I keep it. I'm like, I'm gonna give this to my attorney, but I'm gonna wait. Okay, done, man. She's doing me wrong. She's doing me wrong. I'm sitting in that county jail, man. She's not coming to see me. I ain't heard nothing from this woman. We're gonna do what's called a suppression hearing. It's like an evidentiary hearing. Basically, the evidence is presented to the judge, and if there's anything faulty, illegal search and seizure, shouldn't have been pulled over, pulled you over for the wrong reasons. If there's anything faulty about the arrest, it has to be thrown out. I'm already knowing that I have an opportunity to get this thrown out for the simple fact of you pulled me over based on you seen some paper flying out of the window. I'm going to tell you how police lie, man. I'm going to tell you how these cocksuckers really, really lie. This bitch-ass detective tells under oath, gets on the stands. It's not a trial, it's an evidentiary hearing, but you can cross-examine the detective or the police. This guy says that he was directly behind my vehicle. He observed small pieces of paper flying through the air on a hot, dry day, flying through the air. A piece of the check landed on his windshield. And from that little bitty small piece of the check that supposedly landed on his windshield, he could tell that this was a counterfeit check. And that gave him probable cause to pull me over. Now, I wasn't necessarily questioning that part. I knew he was lying. Prosecution had to known he was lying. The judge had to have certainly known he was lying. Landed on your windshield, huh? And it just stuck. You just was able to see it and it just stuck to your windshield. That's what the detective had ran back and gotten. Whatever fragments of the check that I had torn up. I'm trying to get in touch with my lawyer because I'm trying to let her know, like, listen, I need you to come and see me. I'm calling. I'm having my girl call. I'm having people call. She's not responding to any of my messages. I'm trying to let her know, like, listen, this is the angle that we need to fight this. You know, we need to fight it on the basis of the detective has already said he asked the vehicle, the truck that was in front of me, what did they throw out of the window? They like nothing. They asked me, what did I throw out of the window? You all don't know who threw what out of the window. So based on that alone, this whole stop should have never happened. Because if you seen me, as you're saying, if you seen me throw this out of the window, why are you asking this truck in front of me, what did they throw out of the window? Y'all get what I'm saying? I never get an opportunity to tell her that. I don't see this lawyer until the day of the suppression hearing. She doesn't even come. Typically, when the lawyer gets to court and you in the bullpen waiting, the bullpen is just a little holding cell, you waiting until you go into court. Typically, they'll come back there and talk to you. At the very least, there's like a little glass that they can talk to you through. She didn't even do any of that. I didn't see this lawyer until they brought me into the courtroom. They bring me into the courtroom. I'm pissed. I'm heated. Because I haven't been able to give her what I've found on my end. It's my life. You think I'm going to put my life in the hands of anybody? Well, essentially, that's what you're doing when you break the law. But still, I feel as though, no. I need to let her know these things, and I can't let her know these things in the middle of a hearing. She's making the detective look silly on the stands. To the point to where he had to ask for a break and drink some water. Because she's asking him, the same thing that I was arguing, if you knew, why did you pull him over? But she's not really, that's not the main element of her argument. See, the strength of her argument in her eyes, she was saying, you all never had probable cause to pull him over, period. See, there's a big difference. You all never had, he wasn't speeding. Y'all didn't have probable cause to pull him over. Where she went wrong at is the judge blatantly said, misdone. The detective has already said that Mr. Kins had been on the radar of the police department's radar for 5 or 6 months. He was under investigation. They had conducted visual surveillance of him. They had conducted, audio. And being that he was under investigation and it's documented that he was under investigation, they can pull him over at any given time. If she had came and talked to me, we could have discussed that, and the detective would have had to differentiate the two. Okay, we pulled him over because we felt like it was our time to make our move. He had been under investigation 5 or 6 months anyway. This is the opportunity we had to get him. This is the reason why we pulled him up. No, that was not the case whatsoever. You pulled me over because you said that you seen paper flying out of my window and it stuck to your windshield. And under oath, you said that I did it, but yet you asked the car in front of me, what did y'all throw out of the window? And you had to admit that on the stands. That should have been the basis of the argument. If you seen him do this, you shouldn't even have pulled him over. You never should have even questioned the vehicle that was in front of him. And why did they get arrested? Suppression here is not going well for me at all. The judge has blatantly told her, Miss Dunn, if you say another word, you're going to leave me no choice but to hold you in contempt. The police have a right to pull him over based on the fact of what the officer said, that he was under investigation. But not just that, he's seen these things flying out of the window, these objects flying out of the window, and you have not proven yourself. Matter of fact, you've come into this courtroom very, very unprepared. What the judge said to my lawyer. Oh, man, I'm about to get 100 years, man. Of course, I lose the suppression hearing. I'm pissed. I'm livid. Now, Miss Dunn, at the time, she's in her 60s. I respect my elders, man. I definitely respect my elders, but I'm livid. I'm pissed, man. This is some bullshit. They gave you $6,500. And you coming into the courtroom and you're not even prepared whatsoever. You haven't even come in to really question me and get any information. And I'm sitting in the jail. But next court date, the judge is called a status hearing. They want to know what's going on. We're going to reach a plea. We're going to proceed. You set a trial date. I'm standing there. Once again, she didn't come back to me. Actually, let's rewind that. I'm in the bullpen. Remember I said the bullpen, you sitting back waiting to go into court. She comes back there and she's like, Mr. Kins, I haven't been paid yet. And I have no choice but I've withdrawn from your case. I'm like, you withdrawn from my case? Why would you do that? I mean, you haven't been paid, but I've been calling. She had my mom's phone number. I've been dialing this number, and your mother has refused to get back to me. I'm like, huh? My mom's not going to refuse to get back to you. Well, I've called and I've left messages, so I've had to withdraw from your case. So I still owed her like $3,500 if she was going to continue on with the case. I ain't had no more bread left. But, I had some things that could be, sold off and things like that. So, old moms, man, came through for me, helped me out with the attorney fee or whatever. I'm like, man, my mom's not like that. My mom's a Christian lady, goes to church every Sunday. Not to say that you're not a Christian person if you don't go to church every Sunday, but I was just running it down to her. I'm like, my mom's not like that, Miss Dunn. Well, I was withdrawn from the case and I don't know, good luck. All right. So now I'm mad because now you just trucked me out of my money. You done took my $6,500 that I already gave you. Now because over $3,500 because it was a $10,000 case, I'm in the courtroom. They call me out. Now I'm trying to not be mad or look mad in front of the judge because I'm still trying to get a bond reduction. Judges, they look at your disposition. They look at how you walk and, yes, sir, no, sir. I ain't really do a whole lot of Jeff and a whole lot of tap dancing. Yes, sir, no, sir, Mr. Johnson. It just ain't, it's not, in me. I'm going to be respectful. Yes, sir, Your Honor. But it's not going to be too much more outside of that. They call me out, Miss Dunn. She's standing there. She's whispering to me. You was right. I had the wrong phone number. I talked to your mom and everything's cool. So I'm like, once again, I'm pissed at her, but she's my elder. She damn right. I'm right. My mom ain't gonna do no shit like that. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. But I was like, but I tried to tell you that. Okay, but I had the wrong number. Case is proceeding on. They're offering me something crazy, like on dismiss all the counts with the exception of 2 counts. On 1 count, they want to give me 10 years. Then on the other count, they want to give me 1 year, but enhance it to 13 years because I was a persistent felony offender. So they can enhance your sentence up to 20 years. Not even including the underlying offense of what you're being charged for, just for the fact that it was my 3rd time being charged with some white collar shit. White collar, ain't nobody get hurt, nobody got robbed, wasn't no weapons, wasn't no nothing. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm not saying that I deserved all of that time either. So you want to offer me 13 years, a year enhanced to 13 years on 1 count, and then on the 2nd count, 10 years to run consecutive for 23 years with the time that I already got, my backup time that I'm on parole at the time. I'm like, I'm some dumb, but I'm not plumb dumb. But at the same time, I got to evaluate the situation. If I take this 23 years, that means that I'm going to have to do about 4.5 years before I see the parole board. If I go to trial, I'm facing 20 to life. I got 8, 9 people that's going to, 10, 11 people that's going to get on the stands and say, yeah, he did it. Man, people's lying. People I've never even seen was pointing the finger at me. It's no joke. People I've never even seen was pointing. That man right there, he did it. He gave me this $6,800 check and I cashed 5 of them and he only gave me $50 off each check, 100 and 150 bucks at most off each check. He made me do it. There was a couple people I seen, but the whole plot, the whole plan was people wouldn't see me. I'm producing everything or whatever. I give it to you. You go handle that. And then you break it down and bring it back. And, we break it down. We bust it down. These people were lying. They didn't even see me. The detectives knew they were lying. Remember, a jury only has to believe that you, along with 4 other people you were in cahoots with, and you guilty of running a criminal, being engaged, in my particular case, running in a criminal syndicate. I should have known something because when the feds didn't want it, see, the feds is not coming unless they really, really got something. But they're not perfect. They're not, they're not beyond mistakes. Look at the P. Diddy situation, man. That whole case, if you really following it, that whole case is breaking down. Don't be surprised if P. Diddy beats that shit. I'm like, man, I ain't taking no 23 years. I already got 13 years on the shelf. Now, 13 years didn't really mean 13 years because I had already, served them, a lot of that time. See, in Kentucky, if you get a 13-year sentence, don't mean that you have to do 13 years. You can kill out a 13-year sentence in Kentucky because they have classes that you get. Every class you take, you get 90 days off. Then you got meritorious good time, which is, I think, 3 months a year. Then you get statutory good time, which is an automatic 60 days a year off your sentence. So on a 13-year sentence now, you can be home in 6. If you really get in there and handle your business, but it's still not cool to catch another 23 years on top of any case that you may have, any sort of backup time. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. Time goes on. I see that Miss Dunn is not, her mind is on something else. Finally, she comes and see me, and I just let her have it. Man, I done gave you all this money. My mama has helped me. We done paid you 10 G's. And you keep coming down here unprepared. This is my life. With Apollo saying, Rocky, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. Come on, Rock. What's wrong with you? Yo, Apollo, man, we'll try it again tomorrow, man. All right, we'll do it again tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. It took Adrian to come in and give Rock that pep in his step. To get him back to where he should have been. I ain't had no Adrian to give me that Rocky speech, but I didn't need that though. Because I already knew, nah, man, this ain't right, man. I let her know. I definitely let her know that I was displeased with what she was doing. I need my money back. I need all 10,000 back. Oh, well, that's not gonna happen. Oh yeah, it's not gonna. So you gonna rob me? You gonna take my 10,000? I've made several court appearances for you. And I'm doing everything that I can possibly do for you. See, what all you think about is yourself. Ma'am, they're trying to give me 20 to life. My brother just passed away. And I've had to come into this courtroom every single time with a heavy burden. And all you think about is yourself. Listen, now I'm feeling guilty and shit. I ain't, you know what I mean? Now I'm feeling I gotta, kind of soft-hearted, difference between being soft-hearted and being kind of soft-hearted, especially when it comes to women. I hate to see a woman cry, man. I cannot stand to see a woman cry, man. Hold on, Miss Dunn, don't cry. I'm sorry to hear about your brother. I didn't know about your brother. And my brother, he was on, and I was going back and forth before, he took his last breath, and I was doing this and I was doing that. And so a couple things may have slipped my mind. But now when I look back on it, okay, well, you should have just gave me my money back and said, I'm not mentally there to be accepting people's money. I can't go to trial with this lady. It got to the point in the suppression hearing that the judge was like, Miss Dunn, shut your mouth. See, that racism came out of him, although Miss Dunn's white. That racism came out of him. Americans don't get to talking about race. I mean, what else is it? He got to turning red. If you say another word, I'm going to lock you. He went to something, I'm going to lock your ass up. Shut your mouth, Miss Dunn. This is how he's talking to her. See, they didn't really like Miss Dunn, Kate Dunn, because there was a dude named, and actually I told a story on this. So I'm going to retell this story because I didn't get many views because I didn't have many subscribers at the time. Glenn Donahue, I believe that's his name. Glenn Donahue. He hit a police officer that was standing out in the middle of the road. They said he did it, allegedly. But the word on the streets, everybody knows on the streets, he wasn't even the one driving the truck. It was his truck, but it was a white girl driving the truck. They tried to say that he hit the officer. They kept going. The officer had already had several complaints and warnings for standing too far in the middle, like in the road. When he pulled somebody over, he would be too far out on the road. Like this was documented. She represented Glenn. He ended up getting convicted. He got 20 years, in which he ended up serving maybe 8 or 9 years on it, and he got out, and the police department was pissed. Kate Dunn, back in our heyday, represented him. They was trying to give him a life sentence. He got a regular 20 years, meaning that he did 20% of his time, 4 years, to the parole board, and had an opportunity to get out. Well, he didn't get out in 4 years, but still. So nobody liked Miss Dunn at that point. I wasn't aware of that when I hired her. Oh my God, man, I'm gonna have to end up taking a plea deal, man. There's no way I'm not taking 23 years. Ain't no way. There's no possible way. Finally, I hit her with the motion. Remember I said my girl had went down, public records, got a copy of that motion. I hit her with the motion, like, look, it's my last case, this is what happened or whatever. They can't hit me with organized crime. Well, I don't know. I have to check into it. She looks into it or whatever. She don't say nothing. I don't see her, next couple times I see her, far, few in between, visits or what have you. But finally, she's like, you know what? You may have something right here. You damn right I got something. What do you mean I may have something? I mean, I blatantly told you. She presents the motion to the judge. Actually, she presents it to the prosecution. Prosecution sees it. Judge sees it. I guess I had it right the first time. She files the motion, but when you file a motion, the prosecution sees the motion first. Prosecution comes back and she says, listen, if we can't reach a plea deal, this whole indictment will be dismissed and we'll re-indict him the correct way. And he will pay. He will pay. It's called a trial tax. It's called, okay, you done made us do all this work. His black ass will pay. I'm not taking no 23 years. They come down to 17 years. They come down to 17. I'm like, man, 17 plus 13 is 30, right? In my world, because I got 13 backup, even though it's not, literally 13 years, but still on paper, I got 13 years backup. 30 years, nah, just don't sit well with me. Kept fighting. They end up sending me to the Rotary Farm. See, to the Rotary Farm, that's when you leave the county jail and you go to the Rotary Farm. That's where you go. You get processed. For you all that don't know, you get processed. They do a mental evaluation, physical evaluation. They do your blood work, make sure you don't got no diseases. Or if you do got disease, they know exactly what's going on with you medically. And based upon all of these things, how much time you got, pending cases or whatever, you're going to go to this facility, that facility, whatever. It's terrible going to court from the Rotary Farm, man. Come and get you 3:30 in the morning, pack up all your stuff, change you out, put you in that black box. If you're not familiar with the black box, Google inmate black box. Oh, man, it is awful. You'd be in that black box for 10 hours. Inhumane. You don't want to keep doing that every few weeks, going back and forth to court. I told my lawyer, I said, listen, man, I'm not coming back and forth to court no more. I went one time. I said, if you can work me a plea today, I'll take a plea today. And when I take this plea, there is no coming back in a month and all that. I want to get everything over with today. Today. I'm not doing this shit no more. She goes in, comes back. Well, they're not trying to come up off the 17. Well, we'll do it again then. I'm prepared to take the 17 years, knowing I'm going to have to do 3.5 years to the parole board. She goes in, comes back out or whatever. End up offering me 13. I see that the prosecution is not playing. You got a guy by the name of Ray Larson. Google Ray Larson. Everything I'm telling you is, Google it. Ray Larson. Ray Larson, Commonwealth of Kentucky prosecutor. I'll take the 13 years. I no choice. Can't go to trial and all these people's, pointing the finger at me. I take the 13 years. Gave me a total of 26 years. Out of that 13 years, I knew that in order to see the parole board, because the way that it works, I would have to do, once again, 20% of that, which is a little less than 3 years. 31 months. I do 31 months. Hell, I already been in the county jail at this point for between the county jail and the Rotary Farm. I've been locked up almost a year. I do another, slightly over a year and a half, I have a chance at parole. Another 20 months, 21 months. Got a chance at parole. I go to trial and I roll the dice and I get my head knocked off. 20 to life, man. They would never give you 20 to life on some checks. You in a Commonwealth, or counterfeiting or white collar or whatever you want to call it. You live in a Commonwealth state, because Kentucky will, especially if you're black. They will. I don't think nothing of it. You see, breaking the law to them is breaking the law. But in court, they'll make it seem as though, okay, if you shot somebody, they're going to make it deeper than what it really is. But I don't think you can really make it deeper than what it is. You shot somebody, you unalive somebody, especially somebody that went in the streets and was a civilian. You deserve what you get. I deserve some time because I was breaking the law, but damn, 13 years, man. On top of the fact that you all knew that I already had 13 years. You got dudes on American Greed, man. I was just watching it the other night. They're swindling elderly people out of their last dime to where they get thrown out of their homes, man, and don't have nowhere to live at 80 years old because they believed in you. They done swindled 70, 80, 100 million and fucking get 8, 9 years in the feds. Here I am. And again, I'm wrong. But you want to give me all of this time over a couple $100,000? I ain't do nothing. I did something, but we talking banks, man. That money's insured. Like I ain't did nothing to no elderly people or poor people or it's the way of the world, man. People ask kids, we want to hear more personal stories about you. There's only so many personal stories I can tell. I got a few more that I never got caught up on, but I can't tell them type stories. Respectfully, I can't tell those type of stories online. I wouldn't tell those type of stories offline. I wouldn't tell those stories to anyone. I know how to get into some gangster shit, some street shit, some real street shit, but it was only because it was brought to me. But my overall disposition, no, that's not me, man. I wasn't in no pen running shit. I was not in the penitentiary running shit. I was not no goon. I was not no gorilla. I was not no, you know what I mean? I wasn't running no yards. I had no clique to where I was, calling shit, shot callers. I wasn't doing that. I was just me. The same way you see me, and a lot of people a lot of the youngsters would gravitate towards me because they think that I'm younger. They thought that I was younger than what I actually am. When I was in the penitentiary, you find me, either I'm in class, because I'm always go to school. I'm always go and do something to enhance my mind. Even if I'll never use it, you're going to find me in class, at work, on the weight pile, or in my little area watching my TV, man. Every once in a while, I might come out and kick it. I might go to the basketball court, hoop a little bit or whatever. But that's where you're going to find me at. Well, poker table too. Poker table. And I never had no problems. Have I gotten into fights? Hell yeah. You're going to get into fights. Did I win every fight? Absolutely no. No. I won way more than I lost. But I took a couple L's. But that's just the way that it is. It's a respect thing, man. Nobody care if you lose. It's just about defending yourself. It's about taking up for yourself and being a man. You're going to be a man or you're going to be a mouse. Which one? You got people that, oh man, these prison YouTubers, man, they jump on here and they talk about the times, the L's you took. See, that lets me know that you never watched my videos. Because I've talked about the L's I took. I wasn't in there. I'm trying to go home when I'm in prison. don't want to be in prison, but my actions got me in prison. I'm trying to go home, man. Fuck all this trying to be the man on the yard and shanking people and all that. For what, man? To get an additional time of what you already got? Nobody on that shit, man. I'm not. Anyway, I'm always keep it real. My numbers may not be what other YouTubers, prison YouTubers' numbers are, and that's cool. My day will come, my time will come. Joyce Myers, probably my favorite person to watch as far as, speaking. Just Google Joyce Myers if you don't know who she is. Change, success, take the stairs, the elevator. We all want to take the elevator. You got to be willing to take them stairs. That's what I'm doing now, taking them stairs. So when I see other YouTubers that have less subscribers than me, but they're getting way more numbers than me, or people that have 10 times the amount of subscribers as I have, my granddaddy used to tell me, you got to worry about you. Don't worry about what the Joneses and what everybody else is doing. Worry about you. Your time's gonna come. Your time may come on a turtle, on a snail, but whatever the case may be, I'm sorry, but I'm subject to break out into Ric Flair at any given time, bro. Whatever the case may be, Shivani. Time may come. The time will come. The world don't know about real kins when the world is supposed to know about real kins. And I appreciate each and every last one of you all that rock with me, that wait for my videos, that are checking my channel. For whatever reason, notifications is not going out. Just check the channel. I don't know why. I appreciate every last one of you all. And I'm never going to compromise the truth just to get views. You know how easy it is for me to be like a lot. I'm not going to say all of them, because you got certain ones that don't make up stories or whatever. But you all know how easy it'd be for me to just come on here and just make up shit for views and keep talking about booty bandits, because that seems to be the theme. It seems to be the topic that drives YouTube, as far as not as an overall whole, but as far as prison content. Yeah, I tell stories about booty bandits, but I'm not gonna make up no shit. You're only gonna run across so many booty bandits. People understand that the algorithm and the numbers equal money. I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. So that's why you see so many booty bandit stories. And dudes that feel like, I don't care if you call me gay. Call me whatever you want to call me. Every month when this motherfucking $10,000 YouTube check hits, then guess what? Who's laughing now? I could easily do that. Easily. I tell stories, man. I try to paint a picture. Come on, Kens, you talking too much. Come on, Kens, man. You ain't get to the meat of the story. Come on, Kens. Listen. I do this for the truck drivers. I do this for the healthcare workers, the barbers, the beauticians. I do this for the people that's doing whatever they got to do to pay their bills, 9 to 5s, hustle. Every day I'm hustling. The Amazon drivers, Uber Eats, Instacart, security guards. I get so many people that hit me up. Hey, Kens, you didn't even mention the electricians. I do it for the electricians. I do it for the carpenters. I do it for the artists. The starving artists. I do it for everybody. The factory workers. Police officers. When you're at that job and you don't feel like being there, like I said, in my intro, as we so often don't. But when you know you can click on a video and hear something real that's gonna motivate you, that's who I do it for, man. And if I miss your, profession, I can't name every profession. I mean, I had doctors hit me up, nurses, real kids, man. I'm a doctor and such and such, man. I listen to you. I rock with you. Nurses, I rock with you. Construction workers, I rock with you, because I'm for the people. I'm one of those. I'm a Muhammad Ali type dude, man. If I'm rich, if I got that bag, if I got that money, man, I'm not hiding, man. I'm amongst my people, man. And my people is you all, everybody, the people. I'm amongst everybody, man. What does money do? Money can get you things, but I ain't never really had no real money. I had street money. I would never seclude myself from everybody else, man, because we all need, everybody plays a fool. Ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but that's just a song that, I like, and it popped up in my mind. Kids, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, I don't need to do anything but what I do. Put my videos out, I make my videos longer, I stretch my videos out to be longer for you all that enjoy listening to my content, and it'll motivate you, and it'll help you get through whatever you may be going through at the time. Once again, I could easily push out 12-minute videos, easily. Get straight to the heart of the story, but for what? I'm not in this for money. Do I make money? Yeah. Do I make big money? Not yet. But that was never my goal. It was never my goal when I initially started my channel. I didn't know anything about money. I ain't have nobody saying, hey, you can make this, do this, and if you do this, do that. No, I had to learn, and I'm continuing to learn. But I'm not going to get on here and lie and say I don't make money. I make money. But it's not about the money. It's about the people. I love you all. I love helping people. And that's just what it is, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you all like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. I understand the post notifications are evidently is not going out because so many people, again, Kens, I didn't even know you dropped. Kens, I didn't even know you had a video. Kens, don't even worry, man. Just do me one. When you do realize, because I'm dropping 5-6 times a week. When I do drop, to start fighting the algorithm back. Just share my videos, man. Share my videos. It's the only way, the people are really gonna truly learn about Real Ken. See, I can't do this on my own. I need you all to partake. Yeah, likes, I love them. Comments, I love them. But sharing my videos, I love it even more. Share it on all your platforms, because these youngsters, these kids need to hear this. And I guarantee you, if you do so, Real Kens TV, you'll see catapult to the top of the food chain. Respectfully.